And welcome to chapter number 12 of our favorite subject, tourism. And today we'll talk about featural tourist attraction in India. You know, we keep talking about India as such a rich and diverse country, different climate conditions. You have deserts, you have hill stations, you have beaches. It is a heaven for any nature attractive tourist. Now, very importantly, we always focus on what is good for us to study for the exams as much as knowing our own country. There are four major things you need to study. You look at India, we say Kashmir to Kanyakumari, the northern parts or the northern mountains are the entire region which are the Himalayas. So remember, so if I were to quickly, draw India, this is the northeast that will go. This is Gujarat, and we talk about it, and then you have got Jammu and Kashmir, which is now, and then so now I'll start losing the colors. So this part is your northeastern mountains, the northern mountains. Then the great northern plains. We'll talk about Punjab, all the amazing food and all plains, and also the two islands. We'll talk about it. So remember, these are the four things you need to know as we talk about India, the one India we know. Now, what are the great Himalayas like? So when I say the northern mountain are always Himalaya. Remember, these are some of the highest peaks in the world. Himalaya, what does Himalaya mean? Himalaya, it is the abode of snow. And actually, that's what it is. It is 8,000 meters above sea level. Everybody knows Mount Everest. By the way, Mount Everest is in Nepal. Remember that? So the first one where Mount Everest is called the Greater Himalaya or Himdri, right? Where there is Mount Everest in Nepal. India's highest peak, by the way, is K2 Kanchenjunga, just short of this Mount Everest, and there are many other peaks that we talk about. Then there is Lesser Himalaya. Just remember that they are Greater Himalaya. Then there is Lesser Himalaya. The Lesser Himalaya is where all the hill station, Shimla, Kullu, Manali, Dharamshala, which is the cricket ground, Masuri, Nainital. We know so many of these. Darjeeling, all of these are the Lesser Himalaya. And so this is the map I'll come to. And finally, there is the Outer Himalaya or Sivalik, right? So the Lesser Himalaya is Himachal. Remember, Himachal Pradesh is Himachal, and Outer Himalaya is the Sivalik. Remember these basic things, and you'll know what we're talking about. These civilics are more like bottom flat valleys. They are called duns. Remember Dehradun? Yeah, Dehradun word comes from the bottom flat valley, duns. Okay, I've covered everything now. So again, I'll take you to the picture. The picture is a very beautiful image that you want to see of your own country. And I've already drawn a rough one. But if you have an opportunity, if you're a good artist, always when a question like this comes, 6 mark question, draw it. The more you draw, the better you become. So look at it from the picture. If I can explain to you, you see this is where the entire Himalayas, Darjeeling will come into. This is the region. Then when you say the plains are the plateaus. You see this? I can, make it better colors. But what do you mean by plains and valleys? You see all the beautiful rivers, Ravi, Satluj, Jhelum, Chenab. This is where it is going into Punjab. And Punjab is the agricultural basket of India. So Punjab, even Rajasthan to exit, these are the northern plains. So remember, it's a northern plain that we're talking about, which is the second part I wanted to speak about. What is speciality of northern plain then? So now this is where all the rivers are in Punjab. It is also the evolution of the religions of India. So Jainism, Sikhism, Buddhism, Hinduism. This is a part that you should remember. This is where you're talking about. So then we go to the peninsula part. What is peninsula? Can you see the Deccan Peninsula? All of these, even there are rivers here. Godavari is there, right? These are Narmada flows to that. So this is Nagpur is the region of the Deccan Peninsula. It's a red soil, right? Black soil. So remember these two colors in this region. And if you look at a peninsula, think of the center. So the center of India, Deccan Peninsula can be divided into three major areas. More importantly, when I think of, so I'll quickly show you so you know where I'm talking about the text. Keep the text here. Not difficult, but most of us don't know the topography of a country. So the peninsula region, I'm sorry, we've colored it, so I'll just use a different color to mark it easy. So if you look at the peninsula here, right? Now, the first is the Central Highland. Remember, the Central Highland is where a lot of minerals are there. Iron ore, bauxite, copper, mineral like zinc, lead, coal, mica, nickel. Of course, it's easy for me to read out. You remember Central Highland, where but then there is Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau is around 7 lakh square feet area, northern boundary, right? These are where the basic hills are. And it is specially divided. Deccan Plateau is divided into two things. Number one, the Ghats. So remember what are the Ghats? Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats. When you go over to, even when you go to hill station, you cover all the Ghats. So Ghats are, so should I put East and West? EW, Eastern and Western Ghats. And this is stretch covering Madhya Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, the speciality of the Ghats that we are talking about. if you might have seen, what are we talking about? Western Ghat is a very important place. Western Ghat is what we call biodiversity hotspot. What is biodiversity hotspot? It means that the specific animals, regions only provided in this, like Madagascar in Africa, biodiversity, the chameleons and lemurs, you've seen the movie. Western Ghats are like that, known for wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, reserve forests rather, national parks. So these are very, very beautiful things. Eastern and Western Ghats, primarily the Western Ghats. Eastern Ghats, of course, are the hills again, and you can just have South Indian, areas there. So these are the two things. Remember, I'll quickly go through the three things again. We spoke about the northern mountain, we talked about the plains, and now we spoke about the peninsula, PP, Peninsula Plateau are the two important Ghats. Finally, my favorite area, the coastal plains and islands, the coast of India. This is where the Britishers came, the Portuguese came, the French came, starts from Rann of Kutch in Gujarat to Kanyakumari in South, right? So if you know your India very well, India is like this, like, there's a Sri Lanka here. So this is the Arabian Sea, this is the Bay of Islands, the Lakshadweep, and there's a long list of islands, Andaman and Nicobar. You must remember it, that's as simple as that. So then the coastline starts from here. This is a long coastline, starts from beaches of Goa to what we call the Konkan Plain. Remember all the Konkanis here? So the Konkan Plain comes in, then it's Karnataka, so it's Kannada Plain, and finally it is Kerala, it is Malabar Plain. It's very easy, it's not difficult, isn't it? So we've got the three plains, the Konkan Plain, the Kannada Plain, and the Malabar Plain. And this is all till Kerala. And the eastern side, of course, so you've got the Eastern Ghats, you've got Andaman and Nicobar, and we've got, Vaishakapatnam. This is all you need to remember. This is the entire crux of the chapter is still long enough, but at least the crux, the first crux that I want to talk about is this. What are the three characteristics of Deccan Plateau? We quickly go back to Deccan Plateau. Remember what I told you? The plateau part, it's the Western Ghat, the Eastern Ghat, and the Central Highland. It's good, rich soil, black soil, iron ore, bauxite, so many things that we talk about, right? And especially Western Ghat is a rich biodiversity hotspot. Which Ghat is biodiversity? That's Western Ghat now. And then Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep, what are the differentiation? Well, Andaman is more closer to the Southeast Asia, Singapore, Burma, Malaysia. Lakshadweep is more closer to Mauritius, the Reunion Island. Lakshadweep is in Arabian Sea. Andaman and Nicobar is in Bay of Bengal. Andaman and Nicobar are more islands, right? Richer, more native indigenous tribes like Ongis, Jarwas, Sentinelese. They are actually cannibals, one island of Sentinel. Lakshadweep has more people of Malayalam or Kerala people, so it's a Malayalam origin, right? So there you are. I think I just explained two very important things. So what happens is, how are you distributing these places? So if you look at this, the entire India we spoke about. So basically, India has some triangles, like, special roads. These are called circuits. Like in F1, you've got circuits. So think of Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, and then suddenly you have a Shimla circuit. So you can take the wonderful roads. The highways are brilliant. Gwalior circuit, Gwalior, Khajuraho, Bhopal, and go back to Gwalior. There is Bhubaneswar, Karnak. This is an Odisha circuit. Chilka is a lake there. So suddenly this is one area you can think of it. Number two, there are hill stations. Simple. Why do people want to go to hill stations? It's cooler. There is less heat, the temperature decreases by 1 degree, and it makes a big difference. Tourists loves to come to relax. It's a beautiful atmosphere, very warm, welcoming. They're great resorts. Food is good. So this is what we talk about. What are some of the common hill stations in India? Well, just think of all the ones, Coorg and Ooty in Karnataka. Maharashtra have Matharan, Lonavala, Pune, Igatpuri. There's so many. The Panchgani. There is in Himachal, there is Chandigarh, Shimla, Manali. There is West Bengal has Kalimpong, Darjeeling. And trust me, I've visited every single hill station. I love it. What is adventure tourism? Well, if you someone who loves water, whitewater rafting or bungee jumping or, adrenaline part, this is called adventure. There are three kinds of adventure: aerial, water, and land. So it's simple as that. Paragliding, parasailing, right? Parachuting. It's all. This is amazing. You should go to Kollad. You should go to Uttarakhand. And then there's land adventure, which is like rock climbing, mountaineering, trekking, biking, skiing. I think bungee jumping is in between also. So many things you can think of. There are certain places, regions, you go in specific place. In India, the best time generally to travel is, somewhere around mid-September till the early Jan. It's a beautiful season, so you plan it accordingly. Then also, there is wildlife sanctuaries we spoke about. India has over 500 wildlife sanctuaries. The tiger reserves like Jim Corbett Park, right? We've got the rhinos there. Sundarban is again tiger. Lion is tiger. Kanha. India is doing a lot for tiger. Tardova. So you can learn about tiger reserves. And if there's a question, you know what we're talking about. Over 500, 41 tiger reserves, 500 national reserves, national parks are there, over 102 national parks in itself. Huge, huge work. Since we've spoken about it, quickly we move on to some quick ones. There's beach tourism. Well, we all know the entire beautiful beaches of Goa, but most people don't know the beaches across India. From Vishakhapatnam, Kolkata, Andaman and Nicobar, Kerala, there is beach that we have. It's for refreshing. It's something that we love to talk about it. There is a lot of word now about the hill station map of India. The entire color you see here is the beach map of India, including this Andaman and Nicobar. This is India's own Maldives, Lakshadweep. You should visit this. So you can just talk about Ranthambore, Corbett, Jim Corbett, legendary, named about Jim Corbett there. There is Bandhargarh. I've not gone there, Madhya Pradesh, but there's so many. You could see a fox, you could see a leopard. Hopefully you can go to Kuno and there's a cheetah now. There's Periyar, there are elephants in the Periyar. There are national, amazing bisons out. There's dolphins in the rivers out there. Sundarbans in West Bengal, known for your tiger reserves. You can see crocodiles, amazing cats. Kanha again in Madhya Pradesh, nature reserves. Madhumalai, there's so many of them. Bird sanctuaries, of course, where I live, there is an entire flamingo, visiting a place, migratory birds out there. India's ornithologist Salim Ali has these bird sanctuaries across in Goa. Bharatpur in Rajasthan is a huge, huge bird sanctuary. Sultanpur in Dam and visit. And I hope, just by sharing it, I wish I had more time. I would show you the birds. I love it. Chilka Lake is a place. You need to visit them. You need to know them. We spoke a lot about it. It's a tourist, heaven. I hope I can make you attractive enough to come and visit this beautiful country where we say Atito, Atiti, Deva Bhava.